Children of the Corn. Excuse me. Had something in my throat there. I saw the brand new Children of the Corn remake. What? You didn't know there was a brand new Children of the Corn remake? Well, that's because they tried to sneak it past you. It was announced that this film would arrive on Shudder beginning March 21st, but if you look, you will not find it. I don't know why, but I suspect it might be because the folks at Shudder didn't want this misguided and problematic film polluting their otherwise remarkable library of exclusives. If you want to see this, you'll have to go to Amazon Prime and pay your hard-earned money, which I cannot recommend. Look, normally I'll say a movie wasn't for me and I'll leave it at that, but this was a remake, and remakes don't exist in a vacuum, nor should they. A remake's strengths and weaknesses will be tallied against its predecessor. And in this case, objectively, the remake fails abysmally. Remember, a remake really has to justify its existence. But rather than spend another minute or two talking about how this remake fails, I want to flip the script and use this as an opportunity to talk about what made the original Children of the Corn so special to me. So first of all, I was alive when it came out. You know, I was young in the 80s and too young to see the film in the theater, but it registered. And the idea always captivated me. The opening sequence, when I finally did saw it, rented it on video, junior high or high school, that opening scene, a broad daylight massacre that leaves nothing to the imagination. It was brutal and shocking and set the stage for something unbelievable. It flips the script on the standard child in peril subgenre. Stephen King at the time was just torturing kids and teenagers in books and films like Carrie, The Shining, Christine, Salem's Lot, and of course, It. Now, kids were the villains. They were flipping the script, and the adult world needed to watch out. I loved it. As an only child, I kind of found the idea of a group of kids on their own very seductive. Objectively, the idea of killer kids was terrifying to me. But like I said, as a horror fan, as a little bit of a twisted teenager, there was something alluring to that. John Franklin, Courtney Gaines as Isaac and Malachi. Come on! Performances of the decade. That film would not have succeeded were it not for those two making it iconic, along with Linda Hamilton before she blew up from the Terminator franchise. So it was great to see that. He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Okay, yeah, a little cheesy at the end, but I like that because it really says that this thing in the cornfield isn't the focus. The real scary thing is the kids. So the fact that it turns out to be real and not just a funny way of saying Lord or God, you know, it's just icing on the cake. But I did like He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Now it's time to talk about, you know, the fact that this film really is out of time. And by that, I mean, the era when it was made was so different from the current era that it really doesn't have a place anymore. Of course, I'm talking about the fact that the idea of children organizing to commit violent crimes is no longer far-fetched. And when a 6-year-old brings a gun to school and shoots his sister, shoots his teacher, Children of the Corn, whether we're talking about 1984 or 2023, is no longer a horror fantasy. It's a grim prophecy. My advice, ignore the remake, but check out the original, which is still fantastic, even if it really can't be recreated. That one is still available on Shudder.